what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another video for Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts. You guys might remember the last video I uploaded back during Gamescom earlier this year where I had a chance to go hands-on with the game and check out one of the playable maps in the full game, kind of working through, sort of doing some of the different objectives, kind of like trying to approach stealth in different ways. And today, we're diving back into the game to take a look at another map, some of the improvements, some of the changes, basically some of the new features that are present this time around. I also want to give a massive shout out to CI Games for very kindly sponsoring this video and give me a chance to check out this gameplay ahead of launch. Alright, so I am very lucky to be joined by Asin Tanvir, who is the Senior Community Manager at CI Games. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Busy, but very good. I'm happy to be here with you. Yeah.
It is definitely that time of year, right? There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. Yes.
But this is super exciting. So we're taking a look at some brand new gameplay because obviously I had a chance at Gamescom to go hands on with an early build. Right, remind me, what was the name of? I'm so bad with names. What was the name of the stage we played at Gamescom?
So Kolchak Harbour.
That's the one. Yeah. So in that one, obviously, I had a chance to kind of go through and like. You know, much like you can sort of do in any of these stages, there's multiple ways to approach like any objective. So I kind of went through and I think I messed up a few times in that one. So
you did all right. You did all right though. You did all right.
Yeah. I feel like I got some clean snipes towards the end of it. But obviously, like now we're gonna be taking a look at this new one. So you said briefly we have sort of seen a few sections from this like at E3, but this is like massively reworked, right?
Correct. Yeah. So what you're seeing on screen now is the Altai Mountains map. One of the earlier maps in the game, and this is a tutorial section, just kind of getting used to some of the mechanics in the game, the kind of the parkour, jumping, and the scanning aspect, which we'll see as well. So just wanted to show a bit of that. This is kind of the first time anyone's seeing it on your channel, so you know, nice and updated. The visuals have also been updated, so you're seeing it looking a lot sharper, a lot cleaner as well. As you'll see there, you'll see the mask mode, and you know it will highlight things of interest and things you can climb, etc., and that will adapt and progress as you progress through the game as well. So you can upgrade this ability as well.
Okay, so is this also one of those kind of things that is kind of open like anywhere, or is this one of those kind of like slightly more contextual things where it's like, you know, there's obviously designated areas where you're supposed to climb, or can I to a degree use this slightly more freely like anywhere in the world?
So I think there'll be areas that'll be kind of you should be able to climb, and if you kind of scan it with the scanning ability, you'll get like little lines kind of highlighting the areas you can climb. But I mean, the maps are quite open-ended. It's not a massive open world. We've kind of scaled back from that and gone for a more sandbox approach with the maps. So they're still very big, and you can still kind of tackle how you want. But there are, you know, kind of certain areas you can go and, you know, do contracts on the map, etc., or challenges as well. So there is an open-endedness to it, but it's not hugely open world to say.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. One thing I meant to sort of bring up as well, I noticed in that, you know, in this sort of exchange they had there with the whoever's like in your ear speaking to them, they mentioned that obviously with the suit we can kind of drop down and it'll help regenerate us. There is still technically fall damage, right? So if I were to fall off a cliff, I'm gonna die.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. If you're falling like a huge distance, you will die. You will die.
Fair.
Yeah.
This one I always find funny as well. Like, obviously, I know like, you know, it needs to make sense in the game thing, but I always find funny how like the amount of people that don't realize their mate's been killed, like just behind them.
He just walked off. He was like, yeah,
I don't want any of this, mate.
I'm gonna walk off. But you saw there like the stealth kill. You can choose to just, you know, kind of take them out straight away, or you can choose to, as kind of I did there, was interrogate the enemy, and he'll highlight other soldiers or enemies on the map. Nice. So you can see that they've been automatically highlighted, so I can kind of sneak around here at the top, and like there's 3 guys here, so I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do we take this out? Stealth, as you kind of might have known from the previous map, is a big part of this. You know, sniping is obviously a big part as well, but stealth and kind of getting around the map and the areas is a big part. So you can use different tools. Over here, we've used the more basic tool. It's a stone. Just, you know, throw a stone in the area.
Very high tech.
Exactly. Yeah, super high tech. Lure one of the guards over there, and then as we call it, the death from above.
Nice.
And then you know, and then take this guy out. You know, silently, get in the grass. Perfect.
And on the interrogation front, like, that's something that's like something that's really like cool in this as well. But is that something that you can do to like any enemy, or are there certain enemies that are marked as like these ones you can interrogate for information, and other ones just like regular enemies?
You can do it pretty much to all enemies. All enemies.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not. I don't want to ruin too much. Maybe not like kind of the main targets.
That's fair.
For example, but pretty much any other enemy you can either choose to just take out or interrogate them.
Okay.
And it kind of makes sense, because if you go into an area and it's kind of the first few enemies you see, you might want to interrogate them just so you can tag everyone in the area, kind of know where everyone's kind of walking around.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, this section we just saw here, obviously we kind of came in and we like picked up our gear that had been dropped in. Now, I assume, narratively speaking, that's kind of integral to this mission. But is that like a gameplay element whereby, you can have gear dropped in like different maps, so you can sort of like, is that how you can kind of start with your loadout, or is this just like a narrative thing?
This is a narrative thing. So this is, like I said, this is one of this is the earliest map in the game.
Okay.
So you're kind of picking up your gear after it's been dropped in, and it's part of the tutorial, just to ease you into the mechanics. And we kind of haven't shown off some of these mechanics before, so it's just kind of, I wanted to give you this video so we can show your viewers kind of how things kind of start off, and kind of the basic mechanics.
Okay, so but I assume once we're sort of like past that point, then we're going to be most other missions will just start geared up already, right? Or
absolutely, absolutely. So there is a loadout screen before you go into a mission. You can as you complete contracts throughout the game, you'll earn money, etc. And you can use that to buy better sniping equipment, get silencers on snipers, get better pistols, get better assault rifles, and gadgets as well, such as drones or grenades, etc. So yeah, you get a loadout screen before you start a mission.
Okay, perfect. Yep. So we've now jumped forward, right? We've jumped to like a different point. Is this just like later on in the mission, or is this like a different way to start it, or?
This is just later on in the mission, so we just skipped that part because I didn't want to ruin anything in that particular section.
Fair enough.
So this is just the end of the tutorial part, and you're getting onto the mission proper, just as you climb over the fence, just shortly after this. Yeah.
Okay.
I think what you'll see over here is you'll go to one of the exfiltration points, which you can. There's several on each map, so you can choose to again, as we said before, you can choose to play and tackle each map how you want to.
Yeah.
You can focus on one of the lower kind of not the main contracts and still exfiltrate and get your money.
Right. I see. Okay. So when it comes to like the structure for say like missions with that, because for example when I played at Gamescom again, there were loads of different things, as you mentioned, that I could take on. I could do different things. But I assume there's always going to be like the integral like narrative ones that will kind of push the story forwards. But you've also got other things you can just do if you want to revisit the maps, right?
Absolutely, as you're seeing here. So we've got to the exfiltration point before just to finish off the tutorial. It shows you exactly what you have to do on that map in terms of the contracts. Shows you some of the challenges and the bounties as well, which we haven't really talked about a lot yet.
Okay.
There's a bounty system as well. There'll be kind of random bounties that will appear on the map as well, which you go and do, which your scanner will help you find. If you scan the area and there's a bounty in the area, it will kind of tag up as blue.
Okay.
So there's not only the main contracts, there's the challenges you've got, and there's the bounties as well. So there's lots to do per map.
And when you say there were like random bounties as well, are the bounties like a finite number, or is it one of those things where you could just load up the game and then like that day there might be like a randomly generated bounty which will kind of give you a reason to go back in?
Exactly, it will pop up. Yeah, exactly as you're playing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what sort of? I mean, if that's something we haven't like had a chance to speak too much about at the moment, like what are there specific rewards from those that like you wouldn't get from like other missions?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so again, the main kind of part is like complete contracts and these bounties, etc., to get money. So you can, you can upgrade your weapons and your gear as well. So yeah, so it all kind of ties into that part of the game.
Ah, very nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. So there's definitely going to be a lot of that. I mean, that's one of the things that I enjoy about sort of stealth games, especially when there's like multiple ways to complete things. Like, is that kind of replayability, right?
Absolutely, yeah, huge replayability. So you'll probably see as you kind of go through the video, I do a bit of sniping here and there, but I'm mostly personally a stealth type player. I've grown up with games like Metal Gear Solid, and Splinter Cell, etc. So I'm a stealthy type player. So I don't want to, take enemies down unless I really have to. So that's my style of play. But I've seen people in our offices, kind of going a bit more gung ho approach. With for example, the assault rifles or the pistols, not even using a sniper throughout the whole mission. That's up to you.
Okay, yeah, because I would say that's the cool thing. Because I mean, like, I know it's in the name. I know it's like Sniper Ghost Warrior, right? But like, you can, in theory, do a mission. Could you do a whole mission like without using a gun at all?
You could actually. Yeah, it'll be very tough. You'll make it super challenging for yourself. But if that's how you kind of like to play,
because that's you can. Like, are there any sort of achievements or like special unlocks that were tied to things like that? Because I mean, you mentioned sort of like growing up with stealth and like Metal Gear Solid. I remember like having to do a playthrough where you never killed anyone, right? So
yeah. Maybe they will. So we haven't revealed the trophies or achievements yet. But
okay.
Maybe they will. I'm not gonna say anything.
I like those kind of things because I mean, there's like the amount of times I play stealth games and you just sit there and you watch people's movement patterns and like you try and get it right and then suddenly someone else sees you like, nope, we gotta start again.
Absolutely, yeah. So I did this. I've played this particular map like countless of times now, and I play it differently each time. And like, I'll have my colleague in the office watching me. He'll be like, "Oh, I haven't seen that before. It's like,
nice."
And we're always finding different routes and different ways to play, etc. as well. It's just there's so much replay value we're finding here as well. In contracts, yeah.
So that up there, so that's something that I didn't see that in the Kolchak Harbour stage. So yes. I'm assuming the drone acts like a camera, right? So if it sees you, then the guards are alerted.
If it sees you, you are in trouble. Yeah, so it's gonna alert pretty much everyone in that area, not on the whole map, but in that specific area. So you can take them down. So you can use a sniper or a pistol or a rifle to take them down, but you have to be very careful because if you get spotted within their area, then they're gonna alert.
Yeah. And if you take down like a drone, I mean, obviously similar to like people, if you take down a drone too near someone, do they hear the destruction noise of the drone? So you have to be careful about that as well, or?
Oh yeah, they will. They absolutely will. So the AI is kind of, I mean, going back to I guess Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, like a lot of the feedback we've had from players and people who played it, the AI needs to be improved, etc. So we've vastly improved the AI here for contracts. Like I'm a seasoned stealth player, like a stealth player, or like a sniping player, etc. And even myself, I'm finding getting through some of the missions to be quite challenging.
Okay.
So the AI has definitely improved a lot. So they'll react more naturally to stuff and kind of how you'd expect like a normal human being to react to a situation. Okay. So that's one of the areas where fan feedback has been our absolute key into shaping what contracts is. Super excited for people to see stuff like this, and when the game launches as well, get their hands on it and see what we've done with this.
Yeah, 100%, definitely. Yeah. I find like definitely. I think there's a part coming up soon as well. We're going to be sort of like spotted by the drone, but drones are like they've become like the modern day bats in video games, right? They're like the really annoying things that just fly around. You just can't see them and you can't shoot them, and you're like. So, because that situation there, like you got from my mind, you got a pretty clean shot, but like someone saw that. Is that
exactly? Someone heard that. One of the enemies he saw went, in their alert phase, and he saw that, and then he alerted everyone else as well. So again, this is like the whole improvement on the AI. As I was talking about before, that comes in there.
Okay, all right. And then, so while they're in this alert phase, I assume, I mean, if you can sort of like lie lower, will they eventually kind of, because they're all pretty like.
Yeah,
high low right now.
There.
So I mean, but if you wait long enough, I assume they're going to kind of return to default stance.
Absolutely. But it does take a while, but they do return to that kind of normal pattern, I guess. But yeah, it does take a while. So I'm struggling here at this point. I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Because there's enemies everywhere. I was like, do I jump down here? I was like, nope. There's like everyone's going to spot me. So I just kind of bide my time a little. So. And kind of find a route through it eventually. Yeah.
Now, there's you mentioned before, like there's skills in this game, right? Things you can unlock for like as you progress, correct? Or am I?
Yes. Yeah. Correct. Absolutely.
So, is there anything that like can sort of tie into situations like this? Like, do you have anything that could be like a vanish ability or something that can kind of speed up the time for people to lose their like alert phase, or are skills more so for like just performance and things like that?
Yeah, it's not stuff like that. So, like, we want to keep within the realms of reality
fair enough.
As much as possible. So, there are gadgets you can use in this area. So, you could potentially, like, we have a decoy trap, for example. You could throw that I guess, out over here somewhere, and you could lure enemies towards that decoy trap and kind of carve a route through that you find, to the next area. So there are stuff like that you can use that would kind of help you in these situations for sure. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. These guys are still super alert, so I'm just struggling. I'm just like, okay, I'll just lie down here and just wait till it calms down a little, because I have a route in mind, and I guess this is one of the cool things as well. Like the whole replayability comes into it. Like there's different ways you can play, and as you play, you'll learn maps and you'll learn kind of routes and areas, etc. as well. So you'll find like your optimal route maybe might be different to like mine or another person's. It's all about how you feel like playing, and how you go about playing. Yeah.
Now, for the people that are like the ultimate stealth players, right? Like in a situation like this, I mean, this would typically be where like I'm like, okay, someone's on high alert. Let me restart the section, right? But technically speaking, them being on high alert, but they haven't actually seen you. Does this like go against your stealth rating? Like, if there's like a ranking at the end, like, will this like count as you being seen, or is this acceptable?
No, they haven't spotted me yet. So I mean, they know someone's in the area, but they haven't spotted me, directly yet. So you should get away with a decent stealth rating still at the end of the game.
Okay, but does that still impact it like to a degree? Like, if you had done this and they weren't even on high alert, will that give you a better rating, or is there no difference between that?
Yeah, to a degree, will impact it in terms of what rewards you get, in terms of the in terms of the final money, etc. Yeah, for sure.
Fair. And I mean, so on that point, like, so I assume if you do like a perfectly stealth run, like no one sees you, you take the target out, then obviously you get like, the maximum rewards. Does that mean to say that like, for the people that are, say, I mean, I appreciate if you're playing this game, you're probably like a stealth person anyway, but like if you wanted to go in more guns blazing, like, are you going to be penalized for that because of...
Not too much.
No.
Not too much, because our key thing is like to let people play how they want to play, right? I'm a stealth player, like I said. You might be an action player. Someone might be just a sniping player, for example, but might get spotted here and there. But we don't want to penalize people too much. So the rewards are fairly similar, but there'll be differences here and there.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Huh. Nice. Well, so we'll get into kind of towards the end of this gameplay. So obviously you're going to kind of go and access the laptop there, and then I think complete this mission at this point. So what do people are kind of like looking forward to the game launches later on this year? What do people have to look forward to like later on? Like, what are we gonna be? Is there more stuff they can check out, or like what's on the horizon for people that
absolutely. We've got, obviously the game is out on the 22nd of November, so we've got a month and a bit, to go till then. We're gonna have some more information drops, some more asset drops. One really cool thing, which not even you got to see at Gamescom, I guess. That we're going to reveal soon, that the team will be working on really hard. It's a really cool feature in the game, I think, and it's going to really kind of impact the slow-mo bullet cam kills that we have.
Ooh, okay.
So there's something nice coming there, but I don't want to say too much.
Fair enough.
And we are going to reveal some more stuff about the game, obviously, for our launch as well. But I just want to say, like, this game is for the fans out there, that have stayed with us. We listened to the feedback from Ghost Warrior 3. Fans weren't happy with particular aspects, and we were very open and transparent about what we're going to do with contracts. And I feel like we've done that here. There's lots of replay value, 5 maps, lots of contracts. Over 20 contracts, lots of challenges, different ways of playing as well. And we'll be at that kind of £30 to £35 price mark as well. So all good value that I feel for money.
Nice, awesome. Well, I mean, So I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to playing some more. Like, obviously, I haven't had a chance to play this map myself. This is obviously like your gameplay, but I'm definitely looking forward to checking out this one. Obviously, some of the other stuff you guys have got coming out. So thank you so much for joining me. Obviously, for those of you guys that are excited for this, make sure you keep it locked. We'll have some more content coming live. From now until launch. So if you guys are looking forward to the game, then you'll be definitely going to get some more stuff right here. So stick around. For the time being, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.